Have you ever thought you might be having too much sex? Shocking as it may sound, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. We often hear that sex is healthy and that there's no limit to it, but that's a common misconception. The truth is, just like with everything else in life, excess can lead to issues, both physically and mentally. So, are you ready to challenge your beliefs and take a deep dive into the surprising world of sexual health? So, how much is too much? Stay tuned to find out. You might be surprised to learn that science has a say in how much sex is too much. Let's dive into the facts. Research indicates that the sweet spot for reaping health benefits from sex, like boosted immunity and improved mood, is about once or twice a week. But here's the catch: it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Now, what happens when you cross the line of moderation? Overindulgence in sex could lead to certain physical repercussions. Frequent vigorous sex might increase the risk of urinary tract infections due to bacteria being pushed into the urethra. Men might experience prostate problems, as too much ejaculation can lead to inflammation of the prostate, a condition known as prostatitis. But the effects aren't just physical, there's a mental side to it too. Excessive sex can sometimes stem from or lead to psychological issues. Anxiety, stress, and relationship troubles can be both a cause and an effect of hypersexuality. It's also worth noting that the societal and personal pressures to have more sex can, ironically, lead to less satisfaction. The fear of underperforming or not meeting these unrealistic expectations can create a vicious cycle of anxiety and disappointment. But remember, everyone's sexual needs and capacities are different. What might be too much for one person could be just right for another. It all comes down to listening to your body and maintaining a balance that feels right for you. So, are you overdoing it? Here are some signs that might indicate you are. First, there's physical discomfort. This could range from feeling sore to experiencing more serious issues like urinary tract infections. If your body is consistently hurting after sex, it might be a sign you're pushing it too hard. Next, feeling compelled to have sex even when you don't really want to can also be a red flag. Sex should be a choice, not an obligation. If you find yourself constantly feeling pressured either by yourself or your partner to have sex, it may be time to take a step back. Then, there's neglecting responsibilities. If sex is taking precedence over work, social engagements, or even basic self-care, it's a clear sign of overdoing it. Lastly, if your relationships are suffering because of your sexual habits, it's definitely a cause for concern. Sex should enhance your relationships, not hinder them. If you're experiencing these signs, it might be time to reassess your sexual habits. Having understood the signs, it's imperative to know how to strike a balance. Now let's delve into some tips on how to maintain a healthy sex life. First off, communication is key. It's essential to discuss your desires and concerns with your partner. The dialogue should be open, honest, and respectful. Remember, it's not about winning an argument, it's about understanding each other's needs and finding common ground. Secondly, self-awareness plays a crucial role. It's about understanding your own body, your desires, your boundaries, and your physiological and emotional responses. This self-knowledge will not only enhance your sexual experiences, but also help you identify when something might be off balance. Now, while it's important to be in tune with yourself, it's equally important to be aware of your partner's needs and responses. A healthy sex life is a two-way street, and paying attention to your partner's signals can help build a deeper connection and more satisfying experiences. Next, don't shy away from seeking professional help if you feel it's necessary. Sex therapists, counselors, and medical professionals are trained to help you navigate these waters. They can provide guidance, strategies, and even medical interventions if required. Also remember that it's okay to say no. Consent is fundamental in every sexual interaction. You should never feel pressured into any activity that makes you uncomfortable. It's your right to decline, and a respectful partner will always honor that. Finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room: quantity versus quality. There's a common misconception that more sex equals a better relationship. But let's debunk that myth right now. It's not about how often you're doing it, but how fulfilling and satisfying those experiences are. Quality matters over quantity. It's about the connection, the intimacy, the pleasure, and the mutual satisfaction. So don't get caught up in keeping score. Focus on creating meaningful and satisfying experiences. Remember, it's all about finding a balance that works for you and your partner. Sex is a natural, healthy part of life, but like all things, it's best when it's in balance. So, take these tips to heart, keep the lines of communication open, and strive for a healthy, satisfying sex life. It's a journey, not a destination.